Hey everybody, Yankee here. You know, I own a few guns. I own quite a few guns actually. I'm old, I've had quite a bit of time to accumulate them. But one thing I don't own is a 22 long rifle pistol. Not a single one. I do have a convertible 22 Magnum 22 long rifle revolver, but I don't have any semi-automatic 22 long rifle guns. Now, my son Caden has a few because that's what he started out with. You know, when he was very young, he started with a 22 revolver, and then he went to a 22 semi-auto, and now he's moved beyond those. I think he owns like 3 of them, but they mostly sit in the safe. I don't own any. Now, there is one that I've always been tempted by, always kind of wanted it, and it's the little brother to the Beretta Tomcat. It's the Beretta Bobcat. I've always really liked this little 22, but there was one reason I never bought it, and it was one of the build quality issues, one of the construction things they did that I didn't like, and that is instead of having an integral trigger guard, they basically just left 2 little notches around the trigger, and then they just stuck a flat piece of metal in there and bent it in kind of like the shape of a trigger guard. But it looked like someone had carved it out of a Coke can. So I was never able to get past that. So I never ever bought one, even though I think, like I said, they're the coolest 22 long rifle pistol on the market. Now, Taurus made their version, which I think was a PT-22, which was very similar. But it was still a Taurus, you know, and that's back when Taurus wasn't making the best little guns possible. And I never bought it, but I almost did multiple times just to have this type of gun that actually had a trigger guard. But because the Beretta didn't have one, I never ended up with one. But now Beretta has changed the design finally of the Bobcat. It now has an integral trigger guard. It's actually part of the frame. Makes the gun look so much better. They've really improved this gun. Now I actually want this. I want this pretty badly actually. So this is a gun that I've actually said to my gun shop, hey, once these are available, get one for me. Now, they're not super cheap because they are Berettas, they're well made, but you know, they're less than like a Glock, and you're getting a little micro kind of cool gun. Now, is it as small as like a C-Camp or something? No, it's not as small as a C-Camp. It's close, but it's not 32 ACP or 380 either. So it's not as a big a caliber as a C-Camp. But it would be fun to own this gun because they also make now a suppressed version of this gun. Has the integral trigger guard, has a threaded barrel, and has suppressor height sights on it right off the bat. So imagine if you got one of those little micro cans. I forget who makes them now, but they're like an inch thick and like 2 3/4 inches long. Imagine getting one of those, putting it on this gun. That would be so much fun. Now, this wouldn't be a self-defense gun or anything like that. Like if I got the Tomcat in the 32, I would get it with regular sights, no threaded barrel, because that would be a deep concealment gun. But with this gun, it would be purely for fun. And since they have improved the design, that would be a fun gun. With a little can on it, this would be amazing fun. And it's not just that they've changed the trigger guard, they've also changed the mag release, and now it's a push button to release the barrel. You don't got to try to pry down that little lever like you did on the original Tomcats and Bobcats. So the gun is greatly improved. And so I'm thinking now my days of not owning a 22 semi-automatic might be over. Because like I've said, I got to buy a new deep carry gun, and I think the one I'm going to choose isn't going to be expensive, so it's going to leave me a little extra money. And I just might get me one of these because these are awesome. The only bad thing, like I said, if I get this updated Bobcat with the threaded barrel and the suppressor height sights, I'm going to have to get one of those little can suppressors, and that's like another $350. But I don't got to do that right away. I can work up to that. But I just wanted to let everyone know, if you're like me, you've always looked at these little Berettas, but that little trigger guard piece of bent metal turned you off, and the Taurus just wasn't up to the quality level you would like it to be. Well, now you can get the Beretta that has not only the trigger guard, but a lot of other upgrades, and you can add a can to it, which, like I said, would be awesome fun.